Okay, so I'm just going to go through an example of a slightly harder identity now, and you can see there's a lot more to this one. And you can kind of pick either side. I'm going to start with the left-hand side and work my way down. So I guess the things to be aware of is when you do these identities, you won't always get it right first time. Sometimes you're just going to have to sort of fumble around and follow your nose and just hope you get there. But the best advice I can give is do a lot of them. The more you do, the more experienced you are, the more chance you will have of recognizing something and getting them out quickly. So if I just start with the left-hand side, like so. Now, what I do know from my basic knowledge of identities is that tan is the same as sine over cos, which means that I could rewrite this one here as sine squared over cos squared, like so. And then what I can do is maybe manipulate that second term so that I have everything in one fraction. So if I multiply that by cos over cos, I'll end up with sine cos theta over cos squared theta. Sorry, multiply it by cos squared. We'll end up with two fractions with the same denominator. And so then when we combine the two, we can actually factor out the sine squared. So we can say, okay, we've got sine squared theta at the front. It'll be 1 minus cos squared theta inside the brackets. And it's all over cos squared theta. Now, so if you look what I've done so far, I've used the tan equals sine over cos identity so far. And now what I'm going to look at is that one where you've got the sine squared plus cos squared equals 1. So what we know then is that sine squared must be equal to 1 minus cos squared. It's quite useful to bear that in mind because you can see in our bracket there, we've actually got 1 minus cos squared. So now we can actually make a simple substitution. So we've got our sine squared outside, and that's actually been multiplied by the sine squared theta from that bracket. And continuing down, we now have sine to the power of 4. Oops. Right a 2 over cos squared theta. And remember, we're trying to work out this as a product. You can see if we look back to the start here, we've now got the sine to the power of 4. We're just trying to get that sec squared. Now, the way to do that here would be remembering that sec squared is the same as 1 over cos squared. So if we pull our fraction apart into two parts there, you can see now that that is actually the same as sine to the 4 times sec squared, which is what we're trying to prove. So therefore we have finished. So you can see we've just done that proof there by only using two identities. So it's good, even though you start to learn more and more identities, it's good to bear in mind those basic ones at the start. So there you go.